Chapter 4, The Teen Years, and Red. As my middle school years began, I knew something was up. When my teacher began the year with a, quote, review of what we learned in 5th grade, I panicked. Why the fear? Well, this review was material I'd never seen before. Yikes. I was intimidated for a while, but I got caught up. Please don't think that I was some special scholar or had any ability that was yet to be discovered. I was just a kid who knew what he was capable of in a few areas. If I would buckle down, I could catch up. And catch up is exactly what I did. I still remember those 2 school years, though, 5th and 6th grade. When I had children of my own, I didn't expect every teacher that they might have to be great. All of mine had different abilities and challenges through the years. At the same time, I didn't want my children to fall behind like I did if it was no fault of their own. Sometimes it takes having a difficult situation for us to appreciate the best circumstances around us. I found that out in those years. It was in 6th grade that things really began to shift in my world. I had a homeroom teacher that became my favorite teacher of all my school years. I had a few that impacted my life in very profound ways, but Miss Anderson, she was special. She was one of the very few people that came into my life that simply didn't see things the way most people do. We just kind of connected. She came into my life at a time that I desperately needed someone like her. After my rough 5th grade year, I needed some support. I didn't realize at that time, but I can see it clearly now. She believed in me, and I could feel it. I hope that you've had someone like that in your life too. Trust me, you'll never forget them. So if you will allow me to, I'll tell you a little bit about her and her style of teaching. Miss Anderson didn't do all the fluffy things, but she was fair. There's nothing wrong with fluffy things in teaching. I'm not saying that. I'm quite certain that that style is exactly what some students need. But Miss Anderson had her own style. Act up in the classroom and into the jelly bean room you would go. So what was the jelly bean room? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. It was a room the size of a small bedroom that was behind her desk. It had a glass wall so everyone could see in, including her. If you got a little rowdy or funny, she would send you to the jelly bean room. The idea was to give you a little space to do your work without disrupting the class. The fact that you had to head that way with the rest of the class watching was punishment enough most of the time. She sent me there a few times. Sometimes my buddy Paul would go with me. Looking back, I don't know what she was thinking. Paul and I were the cut-ups in the class. Why put us together? I've often wondered if it was because she was about to burst out laughing and had to get us out of her sight. We really were innocent in the type of distractions we offered, but that doesn't make it right. I deserved every minute I served in that jelly bean room. Now this was the year I happened to have taken what turned out to be my favorite school picture ever. It would be a close race between this 6th grade picture and my junior year. Why was this one so special? Well, Mom always picked out my shirts for picture day. I guess that's something moms take pride in. Honestly, kids know when it's picture day. Basically, none of the kids are wearing anything they wear the rest of the year. It's a giveaway. I was no exception to the, yes, my mom picked out my clothes today rule. But not this year. How did it slip by her? I have no idea to this day, and she doesn't know either. But on picture day, I was wearing a dark blue, and blue's my favorite color, t-shirt that simply had Indiana in bold red letters across my chest. I have never had any trouble smiling for pictures. I would say God has granted me an overall happy disposition. Smiling comes naturally, you might say. This year, though, it was a genuine smile, mixed with a bit of a grin. When I see that photo, I instantly know this is the real me. That is me. As far as school photos go, I love it. One thing I've noticed is how so many of us go through entire chapters of our lives hiding our natural smile. Maybe some of us are afraid to show it. Is it possible that we want to protect ourselves from the unknown of opening our true selves up to the world? You may notice that I keep using the word we. I used it on purpose because that's how my story is too. There have been many different reasons throughout my lifetime as to why I hid my smile or just didn't want anyone else to see it. I suppose we all have those moments. Having done that, I believe concealing our true smile and genuine self keeps us from truly being happy. I will admit the word happy is overused and overrated, in my opinion. What happiness is to someone else may be almost torture to me. Happy is a strange word. I do encourage you to see what it takes in your life to find your genuine smile. I doubt if it's something as simple as wearing your favorite t-shirt on picture day, but it could be. Please feel free to use your favorite t-shirt if it helps, because genuine smiles reveal happiness and peace in our souls that must be seen. So please, go find your smile. You can thank me later. The color red has been a part of each day of my life, much more than the red Indiana letters on my blue t-shirt. Looking back, it seemed to sneak in slowly. I guess it was like a small hole in those Stretch Armstrong toys from my youth. If you aren't familiar, Google him. You could grab that guy's leg and make it twice as long as it once was, twist his head all the way around backward, and it would come back. The key was what was inside him. It was some type of goo covered in this rubbery shell. The problem was, if his rubbery shell got punctured, the goo inside came out. The more he moved around, the more the goo came out. He had to be thrown away. It was nasty stuff. Once my life with the color red came out, it was like that goo inside Stretch. The more I moved around, the more it came out. It could be pinched out like the trash, but it couldn't be. I had to learn to deal with it because pitching it out wasn't an option. I don't have a specific story where red reached out and pinched me. Those stories were all around me and coming fast. I see one looking back that shows my own growing knowledge of red's place in my young life. When our middle school years began, all the kids from around the county came together. We'd spent the first 5 grades in small, separate schools, and that was coming to an end. I made new friends like Paul, but new girls were entering the picture too. At 11 years old, those things were just awkward. I remember being at home on a Saturday after school had begun. The phone rang and it was for me. That in itself was strange, but I figured it was a buddy, like Nate, wanting to play football. Oh, I was wrong. On the other end of the line was a girl. Oh, yikes. She asked me if I knew who Christy was. I said yes. But honestly, that wasn't true. I just didn't want to appear that dim in the social aspect of our school. I was very dim in that area, though. I still prefer that in social areas of life. Strange, huh? There was more than one girl making that call. I could hear them all giggling. And that's the first time red jumped in and hit me. I heard the giggles. I didn't know if Christy was an actual living and breathing girl or not. I turned down talking to Christy because I thought it was a trick. After all, red came with me. and no one wanted to be with Red, especially a girl. That's where the next chapter begins. And if you're wondering about Red, well, it'll be there. It always is. So it's on to 7th grade we go.